Good morning. We are at the Canary Wharf. I'm together with Guillaume Anglada, a fellow European young leader, and we had an amazing discussion yesterday on space exploration. That's why I want to bring him on and share the insights, how the space exploration and studies are important in our today's European affairs. So could you share something, Guillaume, which is so mind-blowing?
Well, space is always, first it's inspirational because it's the next frontier, right? Having visited all our planet, if you want to see something new, it's certainly out in space. I'm not saying that our planet doesn't have things to show, but certainly it's a new frontier. So that excites people and motivates people to do things. Also, is objectively good thing to know, right? It's at the very least, you don't harm anyone by studying space or learning things about space or exploring space, the moon. Of course, there's a lot of propaganda around space because it makes your nation or your country look better, and there's a lot of this. But
yeah, like world dominance.
World dominance.
Since the Cold War and.
Yeah, but still going on, of course. But it has also a lot of inspirational value for exploration. Basically, it could be knowledge, it could be space. And first, I think this is very, very crucial motivation. A lot of students that go into sciences, somehow many of them are influenced by space, and then they discover science just by the contact. First, you need to attract people, and space is kind of this attractor. And then people discover that there are a lot of things actually to be learned in sciences and technology, especially for new generation. It's a starting point for science. And
so it actually can spur curiosity for people to study science.
Yeah.
So with promoting women and men into young people to study STEM.
Definitely. It's a way to start. You don't start somebody with mathematical analysis and in differential equations.
Right.
Something you have to do at some point.
Right.
But you don't start this way, right? We don't go in the street and let's talk about differential equations today. So, what?
Yeah.
It's like, no, let's talk about the Earth.
Okay.
The Earth orbit, planets and how we compute orbits. We want to go to the moon, so we need to know a few things about materials, about sciences, about how our planet is different from the others, and one thing leads to the other. So that.
So, and in fact, to actually try if the sky is in fact the limit.
Well, it's not. It's not the limit. It's there, and it's big. It's infinite, basically, essentially, in all practical matters. That's the other thing where space at some point has to become relevant. I think I said it yesterday, and somebody told me that it was a good thing. That actually Earth is a place in space. So we think Earth. We start from Earth always, kind of looking at this is the center, and then we want to go there. I don't know. Earth is just a place in space. It's a natural place where we can grow eventually.
I remember what he said is that you need to think outside the box, so go outside the Earth, right? And if you want to know something personal about Guillaume, he turned 40, but before he turned 40, he already discovered 2 exoplanets.
Yeah, a few more, but two that are closer ones to the solar system. That one of the things that we are looking at these days is trying to find planets similar to our own, to understand how special is our own, or also to answer the question if we are alone, what's the origin of life, if it's a peculiar thing that happened here, it's something that happens everywhere.
Right.
But basically, at the end of the day, is to understand really what our place, how special is our planet, and how to take care of it. That's another thing that space gives you. It's perspective. You go out, you look at it, at the planet, and then Carl Sagan was a very popular scientist, outreach person in the US especially, and he has a very famous picture. It's called the pale blue dot. It was a picture taken with the Voyagers on the Earth. Voyagers, space probes leaving the solar system, and from Saturn make the picture of the Earth, and it's a pixel. Right. So it kind of puts you all the conflicts, all the wars, all the messiness, all the beauty, all the art is just in that pixel. So the universe is really a vast place, and it's for us to actually enjoy the universe
and explore. So if they say the projections in the global expenditure on space technology exploration is going to go up to $1.1 trillion in 2040, how does that equate to inequality? We have alarming challenges throughout the world. that what's the logic of spending so much in the space, despite you say it spurs curiosity, studying science, which we so need, and also to really think outside the box and be also stay curious around our existence.
Yeah, well, one of the first obvious things that all technologies and innovation should follow is to achieve better efficiency, to achieve better balance in the world. So you do something that, as a result, you consume less. Doesn't mean that you do less things, but you just consume less. You ravage less the planet. We can do. Maybe we don't need to do more things, but we can still be doing what we do and develop society and how we are evolving without having to waste so much resources. And that's the first thing obvious, that you can use the resources there. We have the Earth orbit, it's used a lot to have small satellites that monitor Earth, to control, to see how the farming is going, how the climate is changing, how the weather behaves. That's crucial. And the other thing is, for example, immediate application is that at some point, and it's probably going to happen in the next decade, there will be a network of satellites launched that will provide global network connectivity. No, you don't have to worry anymore about Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter if you are in the US or you are in Uzbekistan.
Yes, we need a better internet in Uzbekistan. I've been saying that for the last half a year.
But it's an interesting thing. But for example, countries that never had enough infrastructure to develop telephone, they skipped that burden because we have cell phones.
So they leapfrogged.
It's leapfrog. So in a sense, if we can do that, we don't need for all the countries to go through the pain of installing mobile networks and all these things. So if we can do that, and space gives you this opportunity, we will be able to leapfrog a couple development steps. So that probably will be very efficient way of spending resources. And at some point, yes, you said $1 trillion, but $1 trillion in world economy is not that much.
Can you compare it to other expenses?
Well, there are always the obvious military expenses that are kind of out of the. There's this fallacy in the government. I'm from Spain, but that, for example, they sell weapons to Arabia, and when they are asked, say, well, there is these people in this region that need to work, and 20,000 people are living there. These 20,000 people could be building spaceships, right? Yeah. And it's. I mean, you want to do something useless because basically building war machines is useless. It doesn't have any real practical thing. So there are other useless things. There is art, there is education and things like this. And there's also space. And
you mean useful things? Art, space, education is important.
Yeah. No. Yeah, but I'm not arguing against is it useful or not. But it's always the question you have: why the governments also have to fund art or promote arts? Well, is it helping you in your daily shopping? Probably not.
But art also makes the world go round in a way to shape ideas. Art can help you to promote, curiosity to space. Also, it's a different way to send a very important message.
But in a sense, basic sciences and exploration is a form. It's not an art, if you want, because at the end, sometimes a lot of things have practical implications and some work, but most of it doesn't. So most of the research is pure knowledge that you get.
That's right. Thank you, Guillaume. It's been a pleasure to hear you yesterday and get your little insight today to my followers. And tell me, whoever is listening here, and thank you for hanging out for us for almost 9 minutes, what you think about space exploration and what's your concerns and comments. And Guillaume is following on Facebook too, so I'm sure you would be able to give your comments later. So let's continue conversation.
Thanks.
Cheers.